Hey guys, it's Yanni here and I am back with another edit tutorial for you guys. So today's video I'm going to be showing you how I edit my bridal wedding photo shoot. So without further ado, let's get started. So I have this picture right here. It's in RAW. Let's go to develop. I was a little bit depressed actually when I was editing these photos. As you can see, it's all backlit and I forgot to bring my flash. Well, I didn't forget it, but I have a second shooter. I asked him to put the flash in his bag, and during the getting ready, he went to the groom and I went to the bride's house, so I did not have my flash. Hopefully this video will also teach you how to edit backlit window photos. Okay, so it's actually not that bad considering that I don't have my flash with me. I don't mind this photo. I'm not hating on it. I don't hate it. So before we get into the edit, this photo is in RAW file. I always shoot in RAW. It's the easiest file to edit. You can never edit JPEG. Well, you could, but it's very hard to work with. So I was using my Canon 5D Mark II, 1/200 f-stop is 2.8, and ISO is 1600, and I was using the 24mm to 70mm 2.8 L version 2 USM lens. If you would like to know why I use this lens for my wedding photos, please click down in the description box. I will link the video that I did a while ago on what lens do I use for wedding photography. Okay, so let's get started. First, I like to crop it how I like to crop it. I always mention this in my videos, but I try not to crop the pictures. I try to compose it as I go on the actual day, but you can never accomplish the right crop by just looking through the viewfinder. Here, I'm just trying to create a symmetry basing on the window, just making all the lines straight, the horizontal lines and the vertical lines as you could. No pressure if you can't, because sometimes the angle of where you're shooting is also a problem. So that's good enough for me. The hand is gone. As I mentioned in my previous edit tutorials, I always touch the exposure and contrast first. I think that is beautiful already. Just a touch of contrast. Done. You can even stop here, but I think everything is just too blown out. Even the dress is too blown out. The detailing on the bodice of the dress, so let's try to fix that. So maybe we can lower the exposure a little bit, and I like to give the picture a little bit of vintage feel into it. So I go to medium contrast. I play around with the curve. I delete that so I can adjust this. And as you can see here, the shadow on the side, it's changing a little bit, and like I said, it's a little bit too overexposed, so let's go ahead and decrease that. What I normally do is I observe the model or the bride or my subject. If he or she is rightly exposed, then I stop there. But the background, as you can see, it's very overexposed, as you can see in the histogram right here. So what we could do here is decrease the highlights, bring some more of that detail, and decrease the whites as well. And now we can increase the contrast a little bit, and the shadows. Perfect. That's already good enough for me. So let's see before. It just gave a little bit of a punch, the edit that we did, considering that we added a lot of contrast. And let's see what happens if we add blacks, because sometimes black is very good. Nothing's changing much. Vibrance to bring some more of the color. And notice that the subject is looking a little bit yellow, so what we could do is decrease the temperature to go a little bit cooler. And if you don't have a flash with you guys, and if you're going to, especially when you're photographing wedding, my tip is to always position your models against the window or towards the window. So that means the light is coming from the window. Especially when you're photographing getting ready shots, always scout the house and look for the window. The window is your best friend in photographing weddings. Like as you can see, it just makes the picture very angelic. It gives you that very soft vibe into it. So always look for the window. Natural light is the best light. You don't need the fancy equipment. You don't need the fancy lighting. You don't need that. God gave you light. He said in the Bible, let there be light. So there's light. Okay, so use that. Yeah, there's nothing much there's nothing else I would like to change for this edit. You could actually just stop here. Or what you could do is try to increase the contrast more. Go for the strongest curve. And I prefer that. I think I like that better, to be honest. There we go. So there you have it. If you would like to see the behind the scene of this wedding that I did a couple weeks ago, I will link it down in the description box below. I will also link the video where I talked about which lens I use for wedding photography. So once again, this is the finished product. Before, after, before, and after. So if you like this kind of video, make sure to thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below what kind of video tutorials you would like me to do next, and I will try to do this video for you guys. So that's it for now, and thank you all for watching.